Oh, look at my face. It's went in and then it comes down like a little.
Yeah, you got the Jay Leno thing going on.
Oh, look at you. Oh, my God. You look like you got a beard. Oh, that's funny. Look at my face. Oh my God. And in summer, they had the lights on at the grade school, always for children. And we stayed there, and I think it was dark already by 7:30. Mother, father, nobody was home. My sister didn't care, and where she was, I can't remember that because Butchie and I came home. I remember one time coming home and I wasn't with my brother, and he was already in bed sleeping. And I thought, well, how am I going to tell you that? When I came home, it wasn't to the show now. I said that. Now let me think. I remember coming home. It could have been with my little girlfriend around the block, but it was dark, and he was in bed already, but I didn't know that. So when I got home, I was a scaredy cat. So I came and sat on the porch. Now, we didn't have what you call a porch. We had steps going up to the first floor, you know. There's basements in Milwaukee,
right.
You know. So this is very hard to remember. All I know is that it was dark, and we didn't have a porch light, and the main, after the last step, was just a small porch, you know, maybe big enough by 18 inches, and that's where I put my head against the post and went to sleep, because I was waiting for my brother to come home. I don't know where he was, and I don't remember how we got involved in that. All I know is that I finally woke up, and I was still on the porch sleeping. And you know, it's summer. It wasn't real light out when I woke up this time. Went in the house, and there my brother was in bed sleeping. Now, we only had one bedroom, so naturally my sister, my brother, and I all slept. And I had to sleep against the wall, and I wanted to be the one in the middle. Well, that's how we slept every night. Well, this night that I came home and found him home, sleeping in what you call something like a rollaway bed. It's a leather couch, just a short one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And opened up in there, Butchie was sound asleep, and I couldn't tell you what my thoughts were. All I know is I got to dress and went to bed. I couldn't tell you if my sister was in the other bedroom, but I slept on that darn porch until midnight, I think it was. Mommy and Daddy weren't home then. Daddy probably was out a woman, and my mother was out in the bar maybe. I have no idea. But this is what I went through for many years. But she loved us. We always got our hugs and that, but she knew at 8 and 9 years old we could take care of ourselves, if you can believe it. Because I was already in second grade. So what are you? That's just about it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. I was mad, and I remember getting in bed, and I remember kicking him. He didn't wake up, but I did kick him. And it was, you know, these rollaway beds, but it was nothing that I ever saw since that many years ago. And it was leather. And when it was opened, and only two really fit in it, and I don't know where my sister is, but sometime I remember that she would sleep with us too. It wasn't a one bed, you know, one way.
Mm-hmm.
It was where, for sure, two grown people could sleep, and Butch and I were still young. We were about 10, 11 at during the day. We each got a quarter, and we took our friend. 10 cents for me, 10 cents for the little girl down the block that were real poor. There was 6 in that family of children. And there was a little boy and a girl and a grown-up one, but anyhow, 2 of them was Butchie's boyfriend and my girlfriend. And we take the dime and the nickel we got popcorn. And then we'd go to the show every Saturday with that money. And we did that as long as I can remember. And for sure we went on weekends, but this was during the summer now, vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That every time we had a nickel or a dime, we'd try to get together and we'd go to the show. It still was the Colonial Theater. And then when we moved and we started doing that, it was called the Fern. F-E-R-N, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Fern Theater. It was a funny little one. So we had the Colonial, the Fern, and the Climax. Those were the 3 theaters Butchie and I had gone to, because we would only be able to pay our rent or whatever you call just for a year. I think we were in a different house every year. And then we were also on the county. Mommy worked, but just enough to pay the rent. And that was, you know, when I think of it now, I think our rent a month was only around $5 or $10.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and ours was, well, this was poor time, if you think.
Right, no, yeah.
I was born when? 1920, and I'm talking about 9 and 10 years old, so Well, depression was there. Daddy didn't work. He was a butcher, and then he got a job. What would you do it? In a butcher shop, but he did the. They get the. I don't know how it is because I saw the body of the animals, the cow,
Mm.
and they had it hanging up in this big freezer, and I used to watch my dad take it apart. And that's all I can remember with that. That he was the butcher, and that's what he did. And I used to. Well, what do you call that when they cut up animals? There's a name for it anyway, but he was that, but also the butcher. And let's see, what else when it came to that? We never stole. Oh, wait a minute. There is something I remember. We had the dime stores. This is still the same age. It'd be 8,
Okay.
9, and 10 in this house.
All right.
I don't know how old I was. We went to the dime store, and they had hats. Now, the dime stores are so different. You know, they were 10-cent stores, and they had a little bit bigger, but they were not like they are today. Now, in your writing, you'd have to say how old I am, and they'll think it's a lie because I'm so old. How could you remember being young? Well, you do when you did sneaky. Nobody was ever home. We'd get home, 12 o'clock, go to bed. Mother, I don't know where she was, but I told you she worked in it's a bar, but it wasn't a bar. It's where they have a bar in the dinner house, you know? And she was the main cook. And it would be like Friday chicken night. No, Friday the fish night.
Mm-hmm.
And then other nights would be chicken. Well, we just used to go there and sit. Well, anyway, Mother was a good cook, and my dad was a good butcher.